Have you ever wondered why some older people make a powerful decision? Vow almost that no matter what happens, they will never step foot into a nursing home. I'm 84 years old, and I can tell you that decision isn't made casually. It comes from decades of living, from lessons learned the hard way, and from knowing exactly what matters most at this stage of life. For many, a nursing home represents structure, care, and security. But for others like me, it feels like the end of freedom, the end of choice, and the end of dignity. That's why today I want to share with you the 5 powerful reasons why I and many other seniors have decided we will never go into a nursing home. I urge you to stay until the very end and subscribe, because the last reason is one that's rarely spoken about in public, yet it carries the deepest truth. Once you hear it, you may never look at aging or independence the same way again. So let's begin. Reason number 1, the loss of personal privacy. At this age, privacy is more than just closing a door or having a quiet room. It's about owning your life. It's about deciding when you want company and when you want to be left alone. In nursing homes, privacy is often the first thing to go. There are schedules, staff walking in unannounced, shared rooms, and constant oversight. Some people find this comforting. For me, it feels like walls closing in on the last bit of freedom I have. Think of Margaret, 85 years old. She lived alone for 20 years after her husband passed. She treasured her evenings, reading by the lamp, praying quietly, or sitting in her garden. But after a fall, she moved into a nursing home. Suddenly, she had no control over her space. Roommates blared the television, staff came and went, and she confessed to me, "It feels like I've lost the last thing I truly own, my privacy." That struck me deeply. Because without privacy, life begins to feel like childhood all over again. Watched, supervised, rarely trusted. At this age, that isn't comfort. That is suffocation. That's why protecting my privacy is one of my strongest reasons for staying out of a nursing home. Reason number 2, the comfort of home and memories. A house is not just wood, nails, and paint. It is the story of your life. Every corner carries a memory. The kitchen where you cooked holiday meals. The chair where you read to your children. The garden where you planted trees and watched them grow taller than you. To leave that behind, to trade it for a sterile room with blank walls, feels like cutting away a part of your very identity. Take Eleanor, 82. She raised her children in the same home she still lives in. She told me, "Every time I walk into my kitchen, I smell the past. Sunday dinners, holiday laughter, the sound of little feet running across the floor. If I left this house, I'd leave half of myself behind." That's the thing. Nursing homes may offer safety and routine, but it can't replace the soul-deep comfort of living surrounded by your own history. And beyond the memories, home provides stability. As we age, change becomes harder. New environments, unfamiliar routines, constant noise. It can all feel overwhelming. But the steady rhythm of home, that brings peace, lowers stress, and soothes the spirit. And let me tell you this, in your later years, peace of mind is just as important as physical health. If you haven't yet, I suggest you to subscribe and press the bell. Reason number 3, distrust of institutional care. This one is difficult to talk about, but it's real. Over the years, I've heard too many stories. Stories of seniors who entered nursing homes expecting comfort and dignity, only to find themselves reduced to numbers on a chart. Now, not every facility is bad. Many staff members are angels in uniform, working tirelessly. But the system itself often puts efficiency before individuality. Meals at strict times. Little flexibility in routines. Staff so stretched thin that residents feel like tasks instead of human beings. Harold, 85, lived in a nursing home for just 6 months after a fall. His daughter told me how much it hurt him to lose his small morning ritual, sipping coffee and reading the newspaper in peace. At the home, breakfast was served at a set time. If he missed it, he simply didn't eat. Harold said it made him feel invisible. And that's the word I hear most often, invisible. I don't fear aging. I fear being treated like a task on someone else's checklist. That loss of respect, that loss of voice, is something I will not accept. Trust is sacred, and once broken, it's nearly impossible to rebuild. That's why I choose to place my trust in family, in neighbors, and in myself, rather than an institution where individuality may be overlooked. Reason number 4, the power of family and community. Human beings are not meant to age alone. We are meant to be held by the strength of family, friends, and community. Nursing homes may provide shelter and meals, but they cannot provide the warmth of a grandchild's laugh, the comfort of a friend's visit, or the familiar voice of a neighbor at the door. Patricia, 84, chose to stay in her home with the help of her daughter and neighbors. Her daughter shops for groceries. A neighbor mows the lawn. And Patricia, on her good days, bakes pies for them, shares stories, and fills their lives with wisdom. She once told me, "I may be old, but I have never felt more useful. I am part of something bigger than myself." That's the secret. Family and community don't just care for you. They remind you that you still matter, that you still have something to give. And that, my friends, is dignity. Because the truth is, we don't just need care. We need belonging. And belonging is something no institution, no matter how well run, can provide the way family and community can. If you haven't yet, I suggest you to subscribe and press the bell. Reason number 5, a commitment to self-care and independence. This final reason is deeply personal and rarely discussed. I've made a vow to myself, as long as I can, I will take responsibility for my own health, my own routines, and my own independence. Self-care may sound simple. Eating balanced meals, stretching, walking a little, keeping the mind engaged. But these small daily choices build a shield that protects me from dependency. James, 82, is a shining example. He suffers from arthritis and heart issues, but every morning he walks. Every day he cooks for himself. He told me, "These small acts are my way of fighting for my independence." That hit me hard. Because the truth is, nursing homes often strip away these little daily acts of self-sufficiency. Someone else cooks. Someone else decides when you eat. Someone else decides when you sleep. But when I make my own breakfast, when I water my plants, when I choose to read or write, I'm reminding myself that I am still alive, still capable, still me. That is why I will never go into a nursing home. Not because I deny that aging brings challenges, but because I refuse to hand over the last pieces of my identity while I still have the strength to hold on to them. Finally, a message from the heart. So there you have it, 5 powerful reasons why I, and many others like me, will never go into a nursing home. 1. The loss of personal privacy. 2. The comfort of home and memories. 3. The distrust of institutional care. 4. The power of family and community. 5. A commitment to self-care and independence. These are not just preferences. They are values, dignity, freedom, belonging, and identity. Now, I'm not here to judge those who choose differently. Some people find real peace in nursing homes, and that's okay. Every journey is unique. But for me, the idea of giving up my independence, my memories, and my sense of self is something I simply cannot do. And so I ask you, which of these reasons touched your heart the most? Do you see yourself or someone you love in these words? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your stories matter. They remind us that none of us are alone in this journey. If you found this video meaningful, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need to hear it. Your support helps us continue to bring wisdom, encouragement, and hope to seniors and families everywhere. Remember this, aging is not about surrender. It's about choosing how you want to live, right until the very end. Thank you for being here. And until next time, may you hold tightly to your freedom, your dignity, and the life you've built.